Shame is heavy in the culture I grew up in. It's the backbone of this society. You can forget your past, your present, have no clue what year it is or what the date it is, but you would still remember how shame taught you to behave. That's what happened with my grandma who has dementia. She has stories in her mind, both from her past and about every present moment. But she still remembers the secret unspoken codes she was taught since she was a little girl. I cooked a little extra just in case someone decides to come over. We should always have food ready for a possible surprise guest. Okay, Grandma. No one came. It was just us having usual dinner with family. We shouldn't buy that much of groceries. What if our neighbors think by the number of our shopping bags that we are showing off? Okay, Grandma, we'll carry them, not all at once. No one actually cared how many shopping bags we had. Why did you bring out my red set of dishes? They are only for guests. Okay, Grandma, we'll put them back. The guests didn't even notice that the red set of dishes was specifically for them. So while it was nothing special to them, it was special to us in our attempt to make them feel special. It was all about us. From the very beginning, this had always been about us. This wasn't about hospitality. It had never been. This has always been about shame. What if I wouldn't be able to provide comfort, food, or a nice time for the people around me? I should be the one who hosts them well. I shouldn't be the one who's responsible for someone's discomfort. Then there was the shame surrounding who we were told to be, the gender norms and the roles assigned to us. Why do you keep telling me how to cook the potato soup that I've been cooking it for years? Okay, Grandma, I'll let you do it on your own. We couldn't have potato soup, nor the delicious pastry that was her grandma's recipe. She no longer remembers all the dishes she used to cook and bake, even her specialties. Grandma, let me help you clean the apartment. Why do you think I'm incapable of cleaning it? Also, I just wiped the floors this morning. Okay, Grandma, you always do everything on your own. The floors were not wiped. She didn't wipe for the last 2 years. It was my grandpa doing all of that. She wanted to do everything on her own, although she doesn't have to. She could have asked for help, but that would have implied she was less of a woman, right? Why didn't you ask me where the apron is, but instead you ask it from your grandpa? Okay, Grandma, can you please show me where the apron is? She didn't know where the apron was. She doesn't remember where it's always been. But she remembers that she's supposed to be the one responsible for the house chores and the kitchen. You know what's the opposite of shame in the lens I grew up in? Pride and ego. I did that for you. I was the one who did that for you. I saved you from the situation you were in. The attitude of I save the world. You can even see this in how a flight attendant walks while they're on the aircraft, or when you ask someone for direction to get somewhere. If you were to take both of these situations at face value, you would see confidence and assuredness. Just like you would have seen hospitality at face value masking the underlying shame. The way a national flight attendant walks gives you the assurance that they know what they're doing, and I'm sure they do. But unfortunately, it's often not the same when you stop a random person for directions to a shopping mall, museum, or hospital, whatever that is. They'll welcome you with so much hospitality. They'd be honored that they're the one being asked for directions at the very entrance of what could become dangerous territory for the one who asked for directions. Because the pride, the attitude of, I will be the one who helped them to get wherever they want to go, will be seen as confidence from the outside. And even if they didn't know the way, they wouldn't tell you, bilmiyorum, which means I don't know. because they cannot be the one who doesn't know stuff. You know why? We have this saying in our culture, bilmemek değil öğrenmemek ayıp. That's why. It means there is no shame in not knowing something. The shame is in not being willing to learn. How did we end up with shame again? Funny, right? Well, let me come back to the flight attendants. The sound of their heels hitting the ground as they go up and down the airplane corridor. That's the whole point there. One time I took a flight with one of our national airlines. Then I had a transit flight with a European airline. That was the time I noticed the sound of those heels. They're so loud, as if they are trying to speak with the way they walk. They are walking with the attitude of, I am the one taking you to wherever this plane goes. Your life is at my hands. Guess what the other side of the coin is? I cannot be the one responsible for your unsafety or discomfort because that would imply something is wrong with me. Ego and shame go hand in hand in this culture. Sometimes it becomes a driving force behind why we are unable to seek support, ask for help from others, or simply say, bilmiyorum. I don't know. Sometimes it becomes the reason why we bully each other. A typical pissing contest. Who's gonna prove their superiority, their ability to save the day, save the moment, save the world? I'm guilty of this because I keep being defeated by my own ego, pride, and shame. I am guilty of this pissing contest because I love the feeling of I was the one who helped you. I am guilty of this socially constructed and inflicted shame because I still behave based on what others may think. Where is it leading me? Measuring my value, my worth, based on how much I help others. Hospitality is the backbone of this culture I grew up in. I didn't realize that the back end of it was mostly shame. Shame is heavy in the culture I grew up in. It's a backbone I'm still remembering to unbend. Because measuring my value, my worth, based on how much I help others, that's just another way shame teaches you to behave. Because shame entails that something is wrong about me, the way I am, the person I am, and that I have to prove my worth. But shame is learned, it's a conditioning, says Quinlan Walther. At some point, you didn't get the love, attention, or safety that you needed, and shame was your little brain's way of making sense of it. Because if you were the problem, at least you could try to fix it, try harder, be better, earn their love, and try your best to hide your brokenness. It was all about me. From the very beginning, this had always been about me. The way I see myself, the way I feel in my own skin, the lens through which I look at myself. If I see myself as broken, as needed to be fixed, as not good enough, I'll start acting from fear. Fear of being seen as who I am, fear of being exposed, fear of not being able to live up to others' expectations and therefore judged for who I am. I brought out those red set of dishes this evening for dinner. My grandma said, "Why did you bring out them? They're only for guests." I said to her, "Okay, Grandma, let's enjoy before they do. Let yourself be special. Let us treat ourselves special. You are my guest tonight." Maybe, just maybe, by bringing out the red set of dishes, we can start to build a hospitality that comes from a place of true generosity, not a fear of judgment. And perhaps we can finally give ourselves permission to simply be, without the constant need to prove our worth.